Hi, my name's Dave Poland. I want to welcome you to Portland Film Beat. My guest tonight is Mark Steele. He made a film called Future Perfect, and he has a web series called Random Acts, and we're going to talk to him about those. Welcome aboard, Mark. It's great to have you here.
Great to be here, David.
So, let's start with, where did you get your training?
Well, I had a lot of training from several different places, I'd say. My first love is acting, so I approached the whole film industry from that perspective, from the love of acting, wanting to be an actor.
Okay.
So I spent years in acting classes. A lot of people in town, with Jana Lee Hamlin, Robert Blanche, Ted Rooney, just to name a few. Spent several years in acting class. Then I got married to my wife, now wife Kathy, and I was doing a lot of theater. And it was taking a lot of time, and I had 2 younger children at the time. So she had suggested that I stop doing theater, and I said, well, I have to do something.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to film school and learn how to make movies.
Okay, good. Where'd you go to film school?
Northwest Film Center.
Oh, right here in Portland.
Right here in Portland.
Right, okay, great. And so what first got you interested in acting in films? How many years has it been? I know you've made some films. I saw one on IMDb in 2008, I think.
Yes, about 2007 is when I made my first short.
Okay.
So I started attending the school.
Okay.
And yeah, 2007, yeah, late 2007, early 2008. And it was actually a Future Perfect, which was the short of the feature that we're talking about tonight.
Okay. So tell us the premise of Future Perfect. Where did you come up with the idea? How long did it take? Just tell us about it.
Well, sure. I was attending the Northwest Film Center. We had to write a script. I was taking a script class. And so they always say to write what you know. So it is semi-autobiographical. I say semi because it's not completely autobiographical, but I certainly borrowed from my own life for the story, going through a divorce and meeting someone new and so forth. So it is a romantic comedy.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about it. You don't tell us the end, but kind of the premise.
Premise is Marty is the main character whom I play, and he is not doing well in his life. He's in a bad marriage. Hates his job. He's kind of at a dead end. Things aren't going well.
Okay.
And his man he works with, Bob, who's played by Paul Glazier in the movie, invites him with his girlfriend to go see a play that she's in. And it reawakens his love of acting from years before when he was in college. So he decides to sneak behind his wife's back and go audition.
So I see where it is in my autobiographical.
Yes.
Right. What are a few things you learned making this film?
I learned so much. This one I learned to get it until you get it right. Get the take until you're absolutely satisfied with the take. And your coverage, for me, is don't move on until you've got a lot of coverage, because when you're in post, you're going to want that shot that the DP said, no, you really should get it from this angle, and you're thinking in the director's mind, now we got it. When you get into...
it's good to listen to the DP, they know.
So Galvin Collins, who's my DP, leaned on him a lot.
Since we're talking about people who are involved, Galvin Collins was the cinematographer. Name a few of the actors. I like to hear the actors' names. I know they want to hear them too.
All local Portland talent. And so it was Lisa Marie Harrison, Paul Glazier, as I mentioned, Aaron McGarry, Ted Rooney, Robert Blanche.
Nice, very good. What universal themes are explored in your film?
Universal themes in this, of course, well, the guy gets girl, guy wants girl. It's love, basically, the search for love. We all are kind of on that journey in our lives, looking to be loved, to be validated in life. That is, I would say, the driving theme of the movie is his desire to find love in his life and acceptance and happiness, which is very universal.
Right. You wrote this. It is a comedy. There's a lot of laughter in the theater when people watch it. Do you typically write comedy, or do you ever go to the drama? Or
I absolutely do both. And my feature before this one was called Wearing Normal, which is a very heavy drama.
Okay.
And so I do enjoy writing both genres.
What appeal do you think Future Perfect will have for audiences?
The appeal, I think, would be that it is a movie that most people who see it can identify with. Most people have been in dead-end relationships or in rut jobs, desired something more for their life, so they'd be able to relate to the character. I wanted Marty, the lead character, to be very relatable to an audience, and I believe he is.
So what are some of your film's strengths?
The strengths of this are, well, since I wrote it,
That's okay. That's good.
I believe its strengths are that it takes a little bit different turn, a little bit different journey with a romantic comedy than a typical romantic comedy. It's actually atypical of a romantic comedy because it kind of explores some darker things that most
A lot of
romantic
them
comedies
don't.
go there.
Right. That's
I
good.
let
though.
I let us
I
see.
think that's great though, because your film, when you watch it, you get to see a different movie than what would be your standard romantic comedy.
Yes, I
Okay.
would agree with that statement.
Okay, good. That's great. How does your film primarily distinguish or differentiate itself from other work, or from even your own works?
Well, I was thinking about that question, and I think the answer to that is it really doesn't. As far as what we as human beings are attracted to are pretty much the same things in each film. But we each need to be identify with the character. So, from that sense of it, I would say that it hopefully accomplishes that mission that we
Okay.
all want to identify.
Okay. So actually, right now we're going to take a few moments and watch the trailer from Future Perfect.
So, how often did you have sex with your wife, honestly?
For the last couple of years, pretty much.
Marty wants to be an actor?
Jeez, here we go. Sorry to disturb, madam. Would you also like me to return your People magazine?
I dated an actor once. He was hornier than a two-peckered goat.
I deserve more. I've waited for years for you to make something of your life. Don't do this play, Marty.
Hey!
Hi.
What a surprise! Are you here for the audition?
Yeah, I think so.
You're gonna do this.
Yeah. He's such a loser.
I thought he was sweet.
You need to get out there and get some, and don't waste any time.
Oh my God, I know.
You've only got so many cement hard erection years left in you, you know?
Just look at me. What do you want to say?
You're amazing.
Live long and prosper.
That was fun.
Thanks.
That was really fun. After seeing the trailer, I have to ask, how do you work with the actors?
As to how do I direct them?
How do you direct them? How do you get here's the thing, you said you shot it until you got the shots that you wanted.
Yes.
If they're not giving you exactly what you want, how do you work with them to get that?
Well,
There's
that,
different actors, every director has a different way of doing that. And they're not
Correct.
good or bad, but I like to hear for our audience, how do
Sure.
you do that?
I feel that I'm very fortunate that I have a very strong acting background, so I speak the actor's language.
That's really
So-
good as a director. Actually, it is.
And we all know that casting is about 99% of a good movie. So I cast really good people.
Yeah, you did.
And so there were only a few times when I really kind of had to tweak what they were doing. And I basically, what I try to do is I go for what is the scene about, what is the emotion underneath it all, what is the subtext, what are they really saying underneath the dialogue.
Okay, great.
And so we talk about that, about what's really going on in the
Right.
scene.
So you pull the actors more instead
Yes.
of trying to push them to do something. You pull them to, which is really great. How do you work with the cinematographer then? I know you mentioned the cinematographer and you listen to him, which is really good. When it comes to setting up the lighting and things like that, do you let him take control and then you tweak it in the end?
For the most part, Galvin knows a whole lot more than I do about lighting,
Mm-hmm.
and he gaffed this movie also. So I will tell him what I want though, what I see in my head, and what he usually does is he sets it up, sets the camera up, has me look through the lens, and asks me, "Is that what you wanted?" And about 90% of the time, it is. A few times I'll tweak it, but usually it's pretty darn close. I like a little bit more subtle lighting usually than he does. He likes it a little bit brighter,
Stronger.
a little bit stronger. I like it a little more subdued usually. So sometimes we go around about
Right,
that, but
okay.
not often.
What is your favorite part of filmmaking?
Being there on the set and just doing it.
Is that right?
It's just time to me. The time, it's so consuming to make a movie. We all know that. It's just
It's just a long time.
hugely time consuming, and as my wife would attest to, and and so, but I love it. I love seeing the page come to life, and it's my baby. Look, I wrote this, and then here it is, living and breathing. It's amazing.
Getting to that, you wrote Future Perfect as a short, but then you wrote it as a feature.
Correct.
How long does it take you to write it? And here's another one I want you to expand upon that too. When you write it, do you do a Blake Snyder type, where you put the cards out and get it all formatted first? Do you have the idea in your head and just write it? That's what I write. I just I let it formulate and percolate in my mind, and then I just write it. I go back and rewrite until the way I like it. Do you use the cards? How do you approach your writing?
I believe in format. I believe in that, you know, you have your beginning, middle, end, your first, second, and third act, and what should be happening in those.
Oh, yeah, I
give you
agree.
those benchmarks to reach that. How you reach those benchmarks, so is anybody, you know, that's where the creativity comes in.
Right.
And I love that part of it. So I actually kind of follow a formula. I have, before I start writing, I have the beginning and the end. I don't know the middle, of course, you know. Second act is the killer.
I always write the beginning and the end, and then I let it percolate and I think about it, and I find that after a while when I start writing it, the characters actually tell me the story.
Absolutely.
And I did actually know, I've heard people say that. I was like, oh no, but then it actually happened to me, and it was like, that was pretty awesome. And it's actually, it's a weird feeling.
I'm
You're
going to
like,
say to that, if you have very strong characters, if you know who these people are when you're writing for them, they'll talk for you. They will tell you what they're going to
Right.
say. I just put them in the room and let them talk. And sometimes I just write it out, think, that could be better, leave it for a day, come back,
Absolutely.
and then I'll think, what could that character say that would surprise me, that I wouldn't expect him or her to say?
Right.
I always look for something that's
good.
not obvious.
That is great. How long did it take you to write it? I don't think, did you say how long it took?
I actually took Steve Coker's screenwriting class. When I took the old script from the short, it was a 44-minute short, into a 90-minute feature, and so I had to flesh it out a whole lot. And so I took his eight-week, I think, or 10-week course and wrote the bulk of it during that time. It really forced me to get it on the page.
Great.
And then I tweaked it after that, but not a whole lot.
How long did it take you to shoot Future Perfect? Did you just shoot it Did you shoot it straight through, or just on weekends?
We shot it straight through with, I think, 3 pickup days. And we shot the majority of the movie in 10 days. And it was not easy. And I would never do it again.
No, that's like 9 minutes a day.
It was hell. But we had certain locations for only one location we had to shoot. The location was going away. We didn't have access to it after a certain date, so we had to shoot. We had this theater that we shot in that was only available during certain times, so we had...
Right, we saw the theater and part of the trailer there.
Correct. Yes, that was at Clark College, their theater there. They were gracious
Okay.
in letting us use that space.
Oh, that's great. What's your least favorite thing about filmmaking?
Money.
Oh my gosh.
The
That's true of a
tedious-
lot of people.
the money and
the money.
the tediousness of it, where you can be on the set and it can feel like you've been shooting the same scene for 3 hours for a 30-second, you know, spot in the movie, and you feel like, why is this taking so much time? When it gets tedious,
And then you
like
got
that,
a minute and a half scene, and you're done in
Right.
in an hour.
Yes, yes, exactly. I would say the tedious part of it is my least favorite, along with the money.
Okay. Did you edit it yourself?
I did not edit it myself. Galvin, my DP, also edited, but I sat on his shoulder, so I was his assistant editor. That is where he and I argued the most.
Okay.
Is because on editing, and he's a very good editor. And there were some times I wanted it. We just disagreed about how to best, how to cut it. The best would be the most cinematic, the most dramatic way for
Match
it. So,
cuts and stuff like that.
and I had to play the director card a few times. But I'm the director. That's what I
Okay,
want.
yeah. No, you should. You should. It's your film.
But not that often.
That's good. Did someone do sound design for you, or did
Yes,
you do that?
Robert Berry did sound design, and Jason Lennart Anderson did the field sound, or on location sound.
Okay, so the sound, there's a soundtrack was made, or did you?
Yes, Jim Fisher, a very good friend of mine, and he's a prominently known local musician, did all of the scoring for the movie. And Robert Blanche actually wrote and performed 3 original songs for the movie.
Did he really?
Yes.
I knew he was a musician. I didn't know how much he got back into that. I knew he was talking to me about once that he wanted to get back into it more.
Yeah, he's multi-talented. Who knew?
Yeah, who could? Since you like to write, what's your favorite screenplay?
Oh my gosh, I was thinking about that. I would say I love screenplays that surprise me. Like I heard, one of my favorite comedies is Moonstruck. I just find that movie, even though I don't...
With Cher and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, even though I don't like Nicolas Cage that much in the movie. I thought Cher was great.
I don't either.
I thought he overacted in it, but I heard Cher talking about the script, and I thought that's so true. She said she didn't like the script that much when she first read it, because when you see it says, hey, bring me the knife. No, I'm not going to do it. It sounds so retarded. until you see really good actors take that material and turn it into the comedy that it was. So I like pieces like that where it looks very simple on the page, but when actually it's quite profound when you actually see it.
Is Moonstruck your favorite film then?
No.
What's your favorite film?
I don't have a favorite film, but I will tell you the most powerful moment in film for me in a movie was Sophie's Choice. When, of course, I was quite young when that movie came out, and I remember being impacted for several days afterwards after
was
seeing the
phenomenal in
scene
that.
where she makes the choice.
She actually, you know what? She learned Polish and German, and she speaks German with a Polish accent.
Yes, yes, she does.
Yeah.
She is brilliant in that movie.
Yeah,
I know
is
she's
that
been
amazing?
criticized
She was like
by
30
many.
years old at the
Yes.
time.
She's been criticized for being the method actor, but you know that's method acting. It's pretty darn good.
Let me tell you. So, if you could work with an A-list actor, who would it be?
There are several people. I would
Okay,
like to
name
work
a
with.
couple of them.
Meryl Streep would be one, of course. Love
All
to
right.
work with her. I'd love to direct her, actually. I would love to work with Kevin Spacey. I think Tommy Lee Jones is a really good actor, actually. And
There's nothing in him that I've never liked.
Kate Blanchett, I think, is
Oh
marvelous.
my gosh, she did. What was that film? She just got
The Jasmine, something Blue
Yeah,
Jasmine.
Blue Jasmine,
She
Woody
was
Allen's film,
phenomenal in that.
which actually Truby knocked her for being a remake of Streetcar Named Desire.
Yes, and I like Kate Winslet. I guess I like the
Yeah.
the foreign actresses, but there are certain, and Kevin Spacey, admire that guy a lot.
You write, you direct, you act. Which one do you prefer? I know
If
you
someone-
like all of them, but there's
I
got
do like
one
all
that
of
you.
them.
That you
Somebody
like
had a
more.
gun to my head, it would have to be acting.
Is that right? Me too. I have
Yes.
to say that. If you could be assistant director for an A-list director, who would it be?
This is going to sound a little weird, I think, but why am I blanking on his name? The guy who did Pulp Fiction,
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. I love his work, and it's so violent. And I usually don't like a lot of violence, but I just think he has such a unique voice when it comes to film. You know it's his movie. I like his directing style a lot. I find his movies always fascinating.
They are.
Yes.
Right. And he's won, I think, 2 Oscars for screenwriting, so there you go.
Multi-talented guy.
Right. Let's talk about Random Acts, your web series.
Sure.
Okay. I want you to mention to the people right out there, you can talk to that camera, tell them if they want to watch Future Perfect, what they can do.
Oh, as a promotion for the Future Perfect, for being on this talk show with David, I am going to post the movie on the Facebook page called Future Perfect the Movie. The movie will be available for several weeks, free of charge to watch, just as a promotion. So hope you enjoy it. Check it
Okay,
out.
just look up Mark Steele on Facebook and find his post, and you'll find it out there. You can watch Future Perfect, which is a great thing. So anyway, let's move on to Random Acts, your web series.
Sure.
Tell us the premise of Random Acts, because it's actually humorous too.
It's a comedy. It's full straight up comedy, not living in the world of reality too much. And it's 6 actors. The premise is 3 men, 3 women that all are roommates.
There's a picture of it right there.
Yes. And so other local actors, actually several of them have moved to LA since. We have Britt Harris, Casey Geyer, Adam Davis,
Jamie Langton.
Jamie Langton, excuse me, and Jennifer. So, and why am I blanking on Jennifer's last name? Brian, Jennifer Bryan.
Don't you
Hello.
hate that?
Sorry, Jennifer, you know I love you. Anyway,
When you're in this environment, that
Yes.
happens. You're not the first person, trust me.
so I got great people to work with, and so if that can be found actually on my YouTube channel, which is Fantini Cinema, and if you look,
Talk to the camera. Tell 'em.
sure, it's a YouTube channel, Fantini Cinema, which is my production company's name, and if you find that channel on YouTube, you'll have all the episodes will pop up, and you can have a look at them. They're pretty funny.
Right.
We
I've watched. They are pretty funny. So tell us the premise of them first, and where'd you come up with the idea for them?
Well, because I've been in a lot of acting classes over the years, and I've seen the drama that goes on behind the scenes of those, the backbiting, the jealousies with actors, believe it or not. And so I had a wealth of material to draw from, and it was great fun shooting it. And we actually we got into the LA Web Series Festival and won 4 awards.
Tell us the awards. Come on, brag on it, man.
I'll brag.
Let's
Okay.
do.
We,
I'm asking you to.
I actually
want
won
you.
for Best Actor. My agent, Dennis Troutman, best agent in the whole world, he won for a Best Actor and a guest star.
He
spot.
was a guest star.
He was a guest
yeah.
star of the show.
Oh, that's right. I remember seeing him.
He also won an award for writing. writing and for Best in Show.
Wow,
So
great.
it was
That's really
very
good. So
exciting.
that gives people encouragement to go and watch the web series because it is a lot of fun to watch.
Thank
And,
you.
What is there kind of what film genre in general are you drawn to?
Oh my God, I comedy and drama, for the genre, those two. I do love a great thriller, like Silence of the Lambs is, classic.
Yeah.
Classic. I love talent. Basically, any genre I can enjoy if it's done really well. If there's a lot of talent that's gone into it.
Right. Why don't we take a moment and actually watch the trailer from Random Acts, okay?
Great.
We're going to take a few minute break here and watch Random Acts.
How can you say that? This is our craft. It's what we do. This is hollowed ground we walk on. Now say your line.
I'm gonna quit the business.
First of all, you have to be in the business to quit the business.
Let me see if I'm getting this right. Wanting a warm, stable, trusting, monogamous relationship is backward, but sleeping with whomever you want and risking STDs is the future?
Okay, when you say it like that, it sounds bad.
Yeah, forget it, Ben. I'm not doing it.
Hey, Jules, did you lose weight?
Maybe.
I thought so. You look flat.
Oh my God! This would make a great scene in the movie!
That was great.
Thanks.
I really like that.
Kind of fun.
Especially I get to see some of the actors that I know from around town and
Of
stuff
course,
like that.
yes, they're all local.
Yeah, it's awesome. Do you have any advice that you could give for someone who's trying to get into film? Making a film is a hard thing. And from what I understand, you really just said, let's go and do this.
Yes, yes,
And you got the people together and did it.
yes.
Which is, you have to give you credit for it. You really,
Thanks.
you just did it. And sometimes that's what it takes. So here's the thing is I'd like you to tell anyone out there, because this is what the show is about, is helping you get support for your films and future projects, support, but also helping people who are getting started to do that.
Okay. First thing would be to get some training in what you want to do. You can't be a doctor without going to school. You can't, anything is going to take some training. If you want to make movies, have at least some cursory knowledge of what you're doing, because you could be really talented, but if you don't know what you're doing, your project's going to look like crap and no one's going to want to watch it.
Right.
If you don't have good picture, you don't have quality picture and sound. A lot of people skimp on the sound. They don't realize how important that is.
They do. It is. It's extremely important. You can watch a film with fairly good images, but poor sound, and it really grates on you. Or if you watch a film with great images, well, I got that backwards. Great images, but poor sound, it'll grate on you. But if it's got poor images and great sound, you can still watch it.
Yes, absolutely. A very good point. So, and I would say in your first projects, more than money, worry about getting people that know more than you on your project.
Right. Don't be
that
an
you can
ego
learn
about
from.
it.
Don't have a huge ego about it. Like, have a good DP. If you want to be a DP, have a good director, and also cast good actors and cast someone who's age appropriate. Don't have a grandmother who's 25 years old because Aunt Sally was free that afternoon.
Right.
You want good acting, and so start with that.
What about story?
Of course, story is key.
Right, it's got to have a good story. I think a lot of times, what I've noticed about some of the independent filmmakers is they rush the story. They take 3 weeks to write it and go, let's shoot it, let's do it. No, take 2 months, flesh it out a little better, and you're gonna have a better story, and people want to watch it more. What do you consider the elements of a good film, and then the elements of a great film?
That's a really good question. I think a good film is something that you watch and it was pleasant, you enjoyed it, but maybe after 3 or 4 weeks someone would say, what movie did you go see? And you're like, oh gosh, it was good, I can't remember the name of it. A great film is, I saw Sophie's Choice and it impacted me for 3 days. And why? Usually because it's a discovery, it's some type of discovery. You discovered something about yourself that you didn't know, and it took you to a different place.
Right, and you want to see it again.
And you want to see it again.
Yeah, just like Sophie's Choice. Where do you hope to see yourself in 5 years?
I would love to be working in the film industry at some level.
Okay, right.
Either acting, writing, producing, directing, any of it. I love the industry.
All right. Do you have a current project you're working on?
I do not. I'm taking a break for a little while. After Random Acts, That one was, that was fairly recent. That just came out just a few months ago. So
Right.
that was time consuming and expensive. So just taking
Right.
a little bit of a break and assessing and something in the future, but don't know what.
When it came to Random Acts, did you shoot one episode a weekend? How did you work that? Because I know there's a lot of people out there who want to get involved in creating a web series. Give us a little background on how to do that.
We shot, we kind of powered through that one. We had one really long day of about I think it was 17-hour day, which is ridiculous. But we had, so how to get started in a web series is, again,
just do it.
Just do it, but good writing. You need good writing, good actors, and don't shoot it like I see a lot of web series. There's one camera, and there's very little editing involved. It's just kind of one shot running through everything. That can work. I haven't seen it work well many times. Sometimes the editing, you can pick up the pace. You can you can do so much with it. I would get some.
You can
over-the-shoulder
enhance the actor's performance through good editing.
So
and if it's done right, actually, you can have actors who don't do a lot, but have very powerful performances. And I think that's really great.
Yes.
So anyway, we're kind of close to running out of time here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching Portland Film Beat. Mark Steele does a great job with Future Perfect. If you want to see it, check him out on Facebook. There's a link to Vimeo where you can watch Future Perfect for free. If you want to see Random Acts, go onto YouTube and look up Fantini, F-A-N-T-I-N-I. Could they find it if they just look for Random Acts?
Possibly, but if you put in Fantini Cinema, it'll pop right up.
At this time, I also want to thank my director, Ellery Nelson. He helps put this all together, does the lights, the camera, the sound, and everything. He does a great job with that. And I want to thank my wife, who's my producer, and I love her. And she couldn't be here tonight because she's not feeling well, but she still helped get me quite ready for this show. Anyway, until next time, shoot for the silver screen.